not being afraid to use my voice.
Yeah.
I have been for a very, very, very long time. Don't get me emotional in this space. But to find a place where I can just be Trina. Unabashedly, unapologetically. I have not gotten there yet. And here I am, almost the age that I am, and I still haven't found it yet. And that in itself sometimes makes me feel like a failure. I feel like I should have known by now.
Hey there, yummy listeners. We've got an important update to share with you just in case life throws you a curveball.
Absolutely, Crystal. Have you or someone you know recently been involved in an auto accident? We believe in safeguarding your well-being and ensuring you receive the care and assistance you require. That's why we recommend connecting with our preferred legal expert, Sandra M. Davis, PC. When unexpected situations arise, she's the one you want in your corner.
With her 30 plus years of experience and a solid track record, Sandra and her dedicated team will fight to get you the compensation, support, and treatment you rightfully deserve.
Head over to attorneysandradavis.com to schedule your free consultation today. Your rights matter, and they're here to make sure they're protected. Now back to this episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another incredible episode of Yummy Podcast, where we savor inspiring stories in search for your ultimate, most meaningful yet. I'm your co-host, Crystal Khalil.
And I'm Dr. Nicole LaBeach. And guess who we've got here today? Do you see this beauty? Do you see this beauty? Entrepreneur, boss. Can we say boss maybe 3 or 4 times?
Boss.
Entertainer, mom, wife, just an extraordinary spirit, Mrs. Trina Braxton. Everybody.
Nice. Who put me on the program?
Listen, we got you, sis. We got you.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Trina, we talk about YUMMY. It's an acronym for your ultimate, most meaningful yet. What does YUMMY mean to you?
I think for me, it would be my children and watching them to reach the best potential that they absolutely can. So I have 2 young men. They're 28 and 25.
Yes.
My oldest just got married in December.
Oh,
So, I'm just...
congratulations.
She's like, I did it.
She's a mother-in-law. You got to add mother-in-law to the intro.
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
Yes, hopefully me trying to be my best self rubbed onto them so that they can be their best selves.
I love that.
We love that.
Love that.
What we say about the YUMMY is there are a lot of things that you can do well.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of good things that you can do. But at this point in your life, you are well-traveled.
Mm-hmm.
You have lived an amazing life to this point. The things that we used to spend time on, now you look at things and you say, is that mine to do? And is that what I should be doing? So when you think about the wisdom of what life has taught you, what things now would you say, this is YUMMY and where I should be spending my time?
The first thing is you have to realize how precious time is.
Yeah.
Time does not care how much money you have. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care about your creed. It doesn't care about anything except for when it's up.
Yeah.
When it starts and when it's finished.
Yeah.
So for me, when I'm saying YUMMY, I have to think about that dash from when I was born and when that dash ends.
Yes,
So that's YUMMY.
yes.
I think that, and as far as time is concerned, I think that's what's most important to me.
I love that.
That dash in between.
Yeah, I love that. And, when you talk about that dash in between, right? We are all things. We introduce you as mother, entrepreneur, boss, a singer, all those things, right? But who is Trina Braxton without all those labels?
That's just it. Just Trina.
Yeah.
Because those things, that's what I do. It's not who I am. I feel like I'm a mother and a wife first. home is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best at cleaning. I have to get somebody to do that. That's no. But I can cook.
You can cook.
What? I can be the art to the end. Yes. And I enjoy doing that more than anything. And I think that's why I became an entrepreneur and became a restaurateur.
Yeah.
Because I like to show people how I feel through my food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a chef or anything like that, but I'm a heck of a good cook.
But you know what though, Trina? I thought you liked us.
Why, you thought I was gonna bring you some food?
Girl, if you show people
like,
how
where is it?
Where is it? Do you listen? Do you know how she got me?
How?
Tell them how you got me.
So I got this woman to be my business partner because I called her up one day and I said, "Hey, I heard you retired. Bad sister retired. Can I celebrate you? Can I celebrate you, sis?" Brought her to my house and made her breakfast. Let me just say, best breakfast investment I have ever made in my whole life.
What'd you make?
8 hours later, we were business partners. I made eggs with Havarti cheese.
Nice, okay.
And fresh shucked corn. I made some amazing French toast flavored in some way.
It was pineapple French toast.
Listen, I was not playing. Now, I didn't know that it would result in this. I literally was just trying to celebrate her one sister to another.
Which was yummy enough.
She won me with the pineapple French toast.
Right, that was yummy enough.
Listen, you got to go for what you know.
Right.
So I was going to buy us breakfast, but then the Lord was like, why don't you stop your calendar and create an experience? And she said, what should I bring? I said, flowers. Because pretty girls deserve flowers.
Yes, we do. So that was our yummy moment. So I'm like, if you love us, where's the food, Trina?
I'll bring it next time.
All right.
That means you
that means you have to have me back. That means there's the next time.
We gotta have you back.
Yes.
And, you know, Trina, when I look at your life and your story, right, it reminds me of when I decided to take the leap, like Dr. Nicole said, and retire from corporate America. When I made that decision, I looked around and I went through kind of an identity crisis, right? Because I worked for Porsche, one of the largest brands in the world, very well-known brand, amazing brand. But I didn't know what my personal brand was. And I had lived inside this beautifully wrapped, amazing box for 20 years. And when it was time to make a leap, I was like, who are you? What is your brand? So when I look at your life, I see that you were raised in a brand, right? I worked in a brand for 20 years. You were raised in the Braxton brand. What has it been like for you searching for your own identity and defining who Trina is amongst the Braxton family?
It's been extremely difficult. And that's multi-layered as a question. Only because I thank God for the opportunities given to me, because a lot of doors may not have opened without that last name.
Absolutely.
But at the same token, it did take me a while to learn who Trina was without looking to my left and looking to my right, and there's a sister, a sibling, a parent. So when I decided, this is a really true story, okay?
Yes.
So during my regular formative college years, I didn't finish. We went on tour, okay? And I decided when we got back, I said, okay, I'm going to finish. I'm going to get my degree. Somebody in my family, I'm not going to say who it is because it doesn't matter. Someone said, no, you shouldn't finish your degree. That's for regular people. Well, I'm like, I'm still a regular person.
Right.
Because outside of this, who am I going to be if all of this takes, a back door? Because the older you get, you have a shelf life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what am I going to do without an education for me, for Trina? So I had to figure out what Trina wanted and do it for me and not for them. And when I decided to do that, I found out that there were so many things that I loved more than what I was already born, bred, and buttered into.
That's yummy.
That's yummy, because when you think about purpose and just the noise that you have to get through sometimes to figure out, what am I being called to do? What is mine to do? Not ours, but mine to do. How did you decipher from the blessings of the brand and then saying, wait a minute, when I shut this down to hear my spirit, this is what I'm being called to.
Mm-hmm.
Honest answer?
Yeah.
Still don't know.
Mm.
I still don't know.
You're still trying to
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that honesty.
Because there's so many of us out here still searching.
And I'm old. Still
I beg your
researching.
pardon.
Right. Ma'am.
I'm older.
Yummily seasoned.
Yes, seasoned.
Yes, like
there you go.
yes.
However,
but speaking of seasons,
Yeah.
we have those.
Yes.
We have our seasons of prosperity. We have our seasons of where, like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Everybody's been there. I don't care who you are, what you look like.
Yeah.
Everyone's been there. And I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
But in that search, I have to think, and especially what you guys said, is like, who am I without these people? Who am I without my husband? Who am I without my children? When I look at myself in the mirror and you see all these different flaws in yourself because you're just being so self-loathing almost.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, who am I? Except for these round circles and these full lips and this voluptuous body.
Voluptuous.
But on the serious note, like, who am I without that? Who am I
Yeah.
without any of those people around me? And if I didn't have them, who would I be?
Yeah.
So I'm just still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
that's so powerful, sis, because so much of how we live and what we do is seeking to not be fully vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
about the questions that we still have that we don't have answers to
Yes.
yet,
Yeah.
and quieting everything down so that we're not always hiding, proving, protecting, defending,
Mm-hmm.
to then let our voice be heard.
Faking.
Faking. Yes. That part.
That part. Because don't we learn that's the acceptable note, is to let our representative
Fake it till we make it.
shine through?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, and we didn't even do the wiggle with Trina.
Oh.
What's the wiggle?
Put your hand in front of your face. Now wiggle. You got to put it right in front of your face. Wiggle. Now take the mask off and put it on the desk.
Yes.
Now do it again because we know you got more than one. Yeah. Put it on
Might
the
need
desk.
2 hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boom.
Put it down.
Put it down.
And that's a practice that we do in our community, because we, especially as Black women, you know, we have to wear masks. We got to wear masks to work. We got to wear a mask at home. We've got to wear a mask in the community, in the church. Everywhere we go, we have to wear these masks. And it gets so, when we get especially seasoned at our age, you don't know where the mask in and you begin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that is a practice, a daily practice of taking the mask off and saying, what is my yummy life?
Well, people don't care. People don't care about your yummy life. They want to see the mask. They don't care if you had a bad day. They don't care if you just got a call from the principal because your kid is acting a fool. They don't, care about, if your husband and you just got into some kind of heated altercation. They don't know. All they know is what they want to see from you at that moment that they get to see it.
But
So-
you know what we found too, sis, is we position people to have the first say in who we are often, how we show up, and what we do and how we respond. We don't even know that we're often positioning them to do that. But a lot of our actions on the back end is, was that okay? Was that good? Did that meet your expectation? Without first saying, now wait a minute, was that okay?
Right.
Was that good? Does that meet your expectation? We wear shirts that speak to sayings that are meaningful to us. My shirt today says, in peace, not pieces.
That's good.
In peace, not pieces. Because so many
Mine
times,
says yummy.
hers says yummy. So many times we are leaving pieces of ourselves all over the place.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where you start to say, you know what? Let me go get all my stuff. I left that in the trunk because I didn't think that would be acceptable to you. I left that in my last apartment because I didn't think that that would be pleasing, or I didn't think that that was good enough.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you're like, wait a minute, I get to go first. Now, you may not like it.
Yeah.
It may not be up to your expectation, but if I don't go first, everything is being pulled by other people.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to self-betray.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because you know what? I don't know how I like my eggs.
Come on, sis.
Say that. Speak on that a little bit more.
I'm being serious. Like when we grew up, we weren't allowed to eat like the runny eggs because my parents go, "Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna get ptomaine poison." Then you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even know if you like it because you're scared to eat it. You're gonna die
Right.
from ptomaine poison or something.
Right.
And sometimes you eat things where your partner likes them.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they like a scrambled with cheese, well, shoot, you don't feel like doing it but so many times, just make it scrambled with cheese.
Yeah.
Like it over easy? Don't eat it over easy.
Mm.
I want to sit down. I want to make eggs every possible way and just take a fork and just taste each one and figure out what I like because I don't know the answer.
That's a yummy move right there.
That's a yummy move because here's the thing. We don't even recognize how not doing that, what it's costing us.
Yeah.
We think it's free.
Mm-hmm.
We think it's free. We've been conditioned to think it's free, to move around based on everybody else's expectations. So we never count the cost of what that means.
And we get conditioned too by people who love us, but they have their own limiting beliefs, right? Like I remember my mom saying she fed everybody before she fed herself. Mm-hmm. She was the last one to eat, right? And that's a badge of honor. If you feed your family and everybody eats and you eat whatever is left over, it's
the same thing.
See, it's a badge of honor. But why is that?
Because I watched my mother do it.
Yeah.
And she watched her mother do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something, Trina, that
we can talk about
rarely
whatever you want to talk
about?
Mm.
So, in our community, we talk about daddy issues a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. It's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Even from being a kid growing up in New York, you never say anything about my mama.
Your mama jokes.
Your mama jokes, all that don't.
That's fighting words.
I'm just saying, you don't say nothing about my mama. Well, one of the interesting things of being seasoned and having lived a full life is you recognize both of your parents formed you, present or not present.
Mm-hmm.
And as Black women, especially, the conversation of our relationships with our moms and some of the things that we inherited, they didn't even want to give it to us as an inheritance, but it was their experience. Mm-hmm. So what they passed to us sometimes were limiting beliefs. Like, for example, I'll say with my mom is 5'3", Caribbean boss beast, okay? She said to me once, friends are friends until they know, because whenever your friends become your foe all over the world, your secrets will go.
Ooh.
I was like,
every time
what?
I hear that, I'm like, ooh, goosebumps.
So in other words,
keep your business to yourself.
Don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
But you can't have a full experience without trusting people. She didn't know she was giving that to me as an inheritance.
Yeah.
But as my mom, she was giving that to me as an inheritance, trying to protect me.
And and I know your story with your mom, and she had every right to feel that way because what?
My mom got deported. Oh. My mom came to this country, was in a friendship, and the woman said to her one day, America is not big enough for the two of us.
Not all of America.
Wait, what?
Not Georgia.
The whole
not
America.
She said America is not big enough for the two of us. And got my mom deported.
She had her eyes set on your daddy, didn't she?
Honey, she had her eyes set on somebody that didn't have their eyes set on her.
They had the eyes set on your mom. That's
right. Got her deported. So her experience was, you can't trust anybody. And that was a challenge in our relationship because I was trying to connect and she was trying to protect.
Got it.
So can you talk to us about what it has been like to be a grown woman navigating that mother-daughter relationship that's beyond childhood? We're grown now.
Yes, because sometimes as parents, we can get stuck into that parent-child stronghold.
Right.
Yeah.
And because you still want to be respectful.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You still want to be respected.
Yes.
Yes.
But the difference is my mom used to always speak to us in parables.
Man,
it's like Jesus.
Oh my gosh. It worked on my last little nerve. I mean, there was a message in it.
Yes.
You know, but there's sometimes I really feel like I don't fully understand my mom. Because I feel like she has her own secrets, you know, from being younger that she doesn't want to, you know, put upon us.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you one of the parables my mother taught us.
Okay.
It's not going to be long, I promise. It's going to be like 45 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So, once upon a time, there was this dog. That's what mommy says, not a dog. She says dog. She's originally from South Carolina. Okay. And this dog had the most beautiful and fluffy tail in all of the land. And the dog would go around flaunting this tail all over the place. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. And shimmy his little tail all over the place. So one day, I'm going to give you guys a shortened version. One day, the dog was playing along the train tracks, skipping along the tracks, fluffing his little tail, making sure everybody could see him. And then there was a little puddle of water sitting there by one of the train tracks. And the dog was sitting there just admiring himself. Look at me.
Looking in the puddle.
Yes.
Look at my tail.
Yes.
The train came. He wasn't paying attention. Boom.
Cut the tail off.
Ran over the dog's tail. Oh my God. The dog was so distraught. Oh my goodness, what happened? Oh, my tail was the most beautiful in all the land. What am I going to do? What's going to set me apart from being so beautiful than any other dog? He said, I know. I'm going to go back and get my tail. And I'm going to have it put back on.
I'm going to sew it back on.
So the dog goes and trots along with a little stuff with the tail. Wow. Just going, and he gets his tail. Has the tail in his mouth. He's going to get it re-put back on. Next thing you know, another train comes. Bam! Kills the dog.
I can't with
Killed
this
the dog when he was going to get his tail?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
This has become a sad moment.
And the moral of the story?
The moral of the story. Don't lose your life over a piece of tail. That was...
Now, see what I mean?
Don't lose your life
See
over a piece of tail. We couldn't get regular stories.
Wow.
We had to get the parables.
I love that story.
Yeah.
She
Flashing
gave
your
you
tail
that.
around.
Yeah.
She gave you that.
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
If you're a high-achieving woman and you're listening to this, people around you probably think you have everything you need or desire.
But Crystal and I both know you've realized there's more, and you've been called to more. We base our programs and framework around helping women like you find their limitless selves, providing a space, a safe space for them to break through ceilings and remove the walls that limit experiencing the life they truly desire.
Join us for our Woman Unlimited Live. Check out the link below. You'll find coaching, community, and connection you've been looking for. See you there.
Now back to this yummy episode.
It's crazy because, on one side, they give us so much
Yeah.
that breathes life into us.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at our moms to see who we'll be. We're looking at them to see how to navigate the things that are adversity and hurtful. So what they give is like, it's food, it's air, it's water.
Yeah.
But then there are the things that are challenging. How do we deal with those challenges to be able to heal and recover? Because it's almost like in our community, you can't even name it. You can't even say you have this challenge with your mom. You can sure say it about your dad.
Yeah, it's called menopause.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Ooh. Say
Speak
more.
on that.
Okay. I'm not sure if you guys are around the same age that I am, but my mother didn't teach me about the hot flashes. My mother didn't teach me about the rah-rah like a dungeon dragon. Like when there is absolutely nothing wrong and everything is wrong.
At the same time.
And those conversations really never happen. And I'm not just going to put this on my mom.
Right.
I'm going to make this a universal issue.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that's talked about.
Right.
After a woman, quote unquote, passes her flower, as mommy called it.
Yeah.
Passes her flower.
Passes her flower. She's
Come
no
on.
longer in bloom.
Come
She's no longer in bloom.
She's past her flower.
Yeah. But those are conversations that I never had with my mom that I wish I did.
Yeah.
However, not to tell all her personal business, but she would tell you this, so I can say it. She had a hysterectomy.
Mm.
So she was thrown into menopause.
Okay.
So she couldn't tell me at about what age I would naturally progress.
Yes,
Got you.
yes, got you.
She didn't tell me because she couldn't.
Right.
And I also didn't have that natural progression because my sister Tony had a hysterectomy, my sister Trace had a hysterectomy. And so the only ones left are myself, Tawanda, and Tamar.
Okay.
Tawanda's 15 months older than I am, but nothing ever happens to her. She's a freaking nature. So I'm sitting there drenched from head to toe, thinking something's absolutely wrong with me, getting my blood checked and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
I'm premenopausal.
Wow.
And nothing is wrong, but everything is wrong.
All at the same time. You hot, you cold, you sweating.
That part.
You're laughing, you're
My husband
crying.
put me in the freezer.
Yes.
My mother, when she went through menopause, and I am telling her business, I remember one day she's Caribbean and she said, "Oh God, bring the fan. Bring the fan. Jesus, bring the fan." And me and my dad, we were just standing there looking at her like, what's wrong with her? Legs open, dripping wet in a matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't had that experience. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But when I see some of my friends going through it.
When you see me going through it.
Yeah.
We have been on camera and I'm like, I'm melting.
Yes.
And then I start
Like a Wicked Witch of the West. Like, for real.
I start
It is
to fanning and I'm trying to like,
I
you
looked
know,
at
what
her,
do we do?
We did a keynote graduation speech just Friday. And I looked over, we were taking pictures. I said, "Sis, am I okay?" She said, "Oh God, no."
Melting.
She started patting. I was melting.
Melting.
Just melting.
But,
Hot flash.
but to your credit, I don't really have a whole lot of information on it that I got from my mom, right? It's from researching and reading articles and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But she never sat down with me and said, "Okay, now you're moving from this phase to this phase.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to look out for. Here's what you need to expect." So even trying to be compassionate and empathetic towards Crystal, I stand there and be like, Jesus. I don't know what to do. I can't fan fast enough, but it's not even just that. It's also, looking at what we think about worth when we start moving into
losing our flower.
Yes, I mean, because
I'm
my
gonna
body
keep
is
my
is
flower.
becoming misshapen. I'm not sure what happened to it.
Yeah.
But the crazy part about it is we get menopause. Oh, women, she's going through menopause. She's going through the change of life. But men, they go through andropause.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's called. It's called andropause. But no, for them, they're going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
They got to put a nice little bow on it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he bought a new car. He bought a new motorcycle. Oh, he found a 20-year-old girlfriend. It's a midlife crisis. But we have menopause. I mean, we do rational things. We change the house. We'll, rearrange the furniture. They go out and they find a 12-year-old named Nipsey.
I can't right now.
Hilarious.
But
it was funny, I say this to Nicole all the time. We talk about our moms. My mother grew up in Alabama. You said your mom was from South Carolina. My mother's from Greenville, Alabama. Bless her heart, right?
She can cook, though, can't she?
She can throw down. She can throw down what she used to be. And my mom passed away about 10 years ago. Thank you. But, when I think about my mom, she did the best she could for what she had, right? Her parents, they were sharecroppers, right? My mother picked cotton. My mother marched with Martin Luther King. Wow. And, as we look at all of the politics and the discussion on history and how long it's been and getting rid of, let's not talk about those things anymore. We're only one generation from that life, right? So I don't know. Your mom was raised in South Carolina. She's probably about the same age as my mom would have been.
She spent most of her life in Maryland.
In Maryland,
yes.
Okay. So they had a very different upbringing. And if I look at how my mom raised me to compare it to how she was raised, she did an amazing job. She did the best she could with what she had. How have you taken what your mom poured into you and tried to exponentially do things better or different with your own children?
Well, my sisters tease me a lot because I can make $1 out of 15 cents.
Come on.
They tell me I'm the most frugal sister. But I am. I want to leave a legacy to my children. I don't want to buy a whole bunch of purses and shoes and jeans and that kind of stuff. That's only making someone else richer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to pour that into my children so that they can have their own children and it like be easier for them.
Generational
You're supposed to make
legacy.
it easier for the next generation, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't see me with a bunch of labels, I don't care.
Right.
They're not making my life any better. Just so somebody else can, ooh, oh my gosh, she has this bag. Oh my gosh, she has these jeans. Oh my gosh, she has these shoes. At some point, you're going to either give them away, they're going to fall apart. You can't leave those to your children.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to leave my baby these jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what you going to do with them?
Yeah.
Right.
$138, $200 for a pair of jeans, and then what?
Right.
But you've got a vision of what you're trying to create when you talk about legacy.
Yeah.
So the meaningfulness of that is that that's a liberated mind space
Mm-hmm.
to say, I want to leave legacy for my kids.
Yeah.
And then having actions. We talk about our yummy method a lot: liberation, activation, acceleration. And it's that liberated mind space mindset of legacy, then actions, how you manage your money, what kind of relationship you have with your money, with your spending, and how that's going to accelerate the opportunity of that manifested vision for your kids and the community that you're seeking to build to make sure that can happen for them. What would you say are some of the things that you got from Mrs. Evelyn that you're like, I'm passing this on? And then what were some of the things that you would say, I got to tweak that a little bit. I appreciate what I got because it made me stronger or better, or I learned from it, but I got to tweak that for the next generation to come.
That's a hard one. Everything my mom has done, she's done for her children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an amazing thing.
Yes.
But she's alone. You know, we all have our significant others or spouses and things like that. And I can't, and I love my children more than life itself, but I can't make them my everything to where I'm nothing. I'm not, Mommy, I'm not saying you're nothing, Mommy. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying here. Not what I'm saying.
Totally understood.
We totally
But-
understand.
Yes, she's older now, but I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want to grow old alone.
Yeah.
And I feel, and it saddens me that my mom has to be that way, or even chose to at this point in her life.
Yeah.
That is so yummy that you would share that. That's why we do the wiggle to take the mask off, because that's such a vulnerable thing. Because so many of our moms, my mom is 82 years old, and my dad's passed on, and she will probably live the rest of her days alone. And so many of us have that conversation because that was the limiting belief that many women before us,
That's true.
that's what they were
Everything
given
for their
by
children.
their moms.
Yeah.
Right?
But here's the thing. Excuse me for interrupting. See, your dad passed on. My dad moved on.
Now, wait a minute. Because they were married 40 years and then got divorced.
Mine was married for 34 and got divorced.
We were like, who does that?
Right.
Mom said
34
one day,
years.
she was just like, done. And when she said done, it was done.
40 years.
40 years.
34, and then my father married somebody else.
Mm.
And I think, Mommy, I'm sorry. Oh, golly jeepers, maybe I shouldn't say it.
Come on, bless
Help the
somebody.
people.
Bless somebody.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Mama. I think that's what impeded her from moving on.
Okay.
I'm trying to be respectful of my mom and her personal feelings and her business,
Yes.
but at the same token, I still have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Not my truth. I hate when people say that.
Yeah.
I hate when they say, I have to tell my truth, but just because it is your truth does not make it the truth.
The truth.
Amen.
Hold on to your truth if that's what you need to hold on to.
Yeah.
But I think my mom just really hasn't gotten over her divorce from my dad. Not to say that she wants him anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't think that she wants to allow herself to feel that vulnerable anymore.
Mm.
I don't think she wants to feel that hurt anymore.
Yeah.
That's yummy, because how many of us are in bondage to our trauma?
I'm not. This is my third marriage. Let me tell you what. I am the Elizabeth Taylor of my family.
I'm going to try until I get this thing right.
I think I had it right this time. Well, I know. I had it right this time, baby. Got it right this time. Third time's a charm.
But it may not be marriage for you. What trauma has you in bondage, right?
Yeah.
It's not always marriage.
But I love you saying that, sis, because a lot of times we inherit the traumas of our moms and our dads. And when you say that, sometimes people get offended. And it's like, look, unless you have actively pursued healing that trauma, time alone doesn't do it.
It doesn't do it.
No.
Now that's a lie. Time heals all wounds.
That's a
lie.
lie. From the pit.
Right?
Yep.
Time is time.
Yes.
And it's wonderful if you're blessed with a lot of it.
Right.
But you've got to actively
do your work.
pursue the work of healing the trauma. So that would mean you've got to be able to name the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to sit with the trauma and say, this trauma was mine, versus feeling like you have to avoid it because it's going to take you out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. So what Crystal and I know is that traumatic bond that we have of not letting some things heal because it's been there for so long, it's now part of our narrative. Yeah. It's part of the story now. Like, it's a real part of the story. If we heal it, then what is the story going to be? If we heal that thing.
That's fear, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's fear of how am I going to be without this feeling?
Yeah.
What am I? Who am I without this hurt or without this feeling? Because it's been with me and I've carried it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like hurt.
Yeah.
Just like hurt. But sometimes I think her anger that she has with my dad is what she holds on to, and that's the connection that she still has with him. It's the hurt.
One of the things that
I'm sorry, Mommy.
We bless you.
Yes,
because you are helping
Mommy.
us figure some things out as women of a certain age. So we bless you. One of the things we talk about is, you have a rug. I got this right now. So I have a puppy. The doggone puppy that I love, who's my whole life, his name is Nelson, y'all. He's my whole life. Nelson Mandela is my puppy. Crystal's puppy is Trevor Noah. Do you get the South African connection? Honey, the puppy wants to pee everywhere and found a rug in my house that the puppy wants to pee on no matter how we negotiate. It's a problem. We're working on it, but it's a problem. But the bigger issue now is the rug has been on wooden floors, right? It's protected, but when you have a rug that's on a wooden floor, if you move the rug, the floor underneath has not had the same level of sun. So if you move the rug, you see the outline of where the rug used to be. Sometimes we hold on to our trauma because if I move that, what is everybody going to see once the rug has been removed? Because remember, I've swept a lot of things under that rug over the years. That's become the story I've been telling myself and telling the world. So once I move that rug, I got to deal with the fact that shadow is there from the rug being removed. And sometimes that in and of itself is so scary, that change of what if I'm in a full place of forgiveness and I ain't mad at you no more? What am I gonna do if I ain't mad at you no more?
And what if I am able to be healed and possibly attract someone that could actually love me and give me what I desire? Am I able to stand in my vulnerability? Am I able to receive that? Right? So it becomes a hiding place.
Yeah, but sometimes the fear of success can be more overwhelming than the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my mom would always say the see positive thing, Mom, that you don't know your house stinks until you leave out of the door and come back in. So it doesn't matter what you swept under the rug. We're going to smell it unless you throw that out because it's going to smell like pee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather the stain.
You would rather the stain.
You don't want your house to smell like pee.
Yeah.
Right.
But
You don't want your house to smell like dog pee.
But you would rather the stain. Some of us have been in that space for so long that we've adapted to the point of justifying that there is no smell.
You don't smell it anymore. You get used to it. Yeah.
We don't smell it anymore. So where is the possibility? Where's the yummy possibility for the next generation for you? As you've talked about legacy, and we've been talking about your ultimate, most meaningful yet. What is the opportunity to speak to forgiveness and speak to healing trauma in relationships?
I don't have any of those answers because it's different for each person.
Okay.
And how they deal with it. The person who's given you the hurt or the hurt that you've given to another person. It varies. I think that's kind of, that question is kind of open-ended in a sense that I can tell you about mine, but mine only. There might be someone who identifies with it, but they'll still never know. Because you can always say, oh, if I were you, I would do this. If I were you, I would do that. The simple answer, but yet complicated, is you never know what you would do if you're walking in someone else's shoes. Because what I would do might not be what you would do. So when it comes to my hurt, I internalize a lot. And then that is manifested in eating and drinking. And I eat and drink my emotions. And I have to work on being more vocal when something hurts me or someone or something they said or did. Because whatever they said, they didn't mind saying it to me. But yet I don't want to hurt their feelings back by saying something else. But you just hurt my feelings. There I go.
Yeah.
With a chimichanga and a margarita.
Oh.
And some nachos.
And some
cheese on the
nachos.
side.
And you know what's so yummy about you saying that, Trina, is one of the things we say all the time is energy that is not released becomes mass. So the energy that you receive from others and internalize turns into a waistline, some hips.
Yeah, and it's
extra
true because
rolls.
your weight becomes your weight.
Your weight becomes your weight.
And that's what's happening. And menopause.
So, Trina, what yummy life awaits you?
The yummy life that awaits me is not being afraid of my successes and not being afraid to use my voice.
Yeah.
I have been for a very, very, very long time. Don't get me emotional in this space. But to find a place where I can just be Trina. Unabashedly, unapologetically. I have not gotten there yet. And here I am, almost the age that I am, and I still haven't found it yet. And that in itself sometimes makes me feel like a failure. I feel like I should have known by now.
Sis, we celebrate you because what you're saying is so normal. Can I offer you something though? I don't know that it's a destination. I think it's progress. You're not where you were. You're still moving. And we always say to move, you have to move.
Yeah.
To move, you have to move. So you're not where you were and you're moving. And as you're moving, your muscle is building. I'm sure there are some things that people could say to you 3 years ago and you would stuff that thing and stuff it and stuff it. And now you're like, not so fast. You may not have the ultimate roar of your voice yet, but it's your ultimate, most meaningful yet. is coming.
And you know, the first step, it's like in the Alcoholics Anonymous process, right? The first step in your ultimate, most meaningful yet is realizing you're not there yet, and being able to vocalize and speak to what it is you need for your yummy life. And you just did that.
Yep.
You just did that, and that's powerful. And when we're able to put it in the atmosphere, it's like the universe lines up.
Yeah.
It lines up. And the next time you are presented with an opportunity to choose Trina, and Trina's yummy, you'll think about it a little bit differently. We always say in the movie Evan Almighty, it says, when you pray for courage, does God give you courage or the opportunity to be courageous? So look forward to your opportunities to live your yummy life.
All right now.
Yes.
That was a little nugget.
That was a little nugget.
Give it straight to the people. Give it straight to the people. Give it straight to the people.
Look for your opportunities to live your yummy life. Trina.
That was a nugget right there.
That was a nugget.
That was a nugget right there.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being vulnerable with us, for sharing your story. Thank you, Miss E. She's not here with us. Miss Evelyn, we love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Trina Braxton. We have enjoyed this conversation.
We appreciate you, sis.